Pranam to all viewers. And in the Western world, we have very independent, conscious society where people say, well, I don't really need guru. I can learn myself. But when it comes to process of learning, it's totally opposite. If you want to learn something great, you have to go to great university, great school, get a great mentor, get a great professor, read a great book of a great man. But most people, they're very arrogant. They say, well, I don't really need guru. So think of this. In order to learn anything in this world, profession, relationships, psychology, you need to approach so many sources. When you go to university, you don't meet one guru. You meet numerous teachers and numerous great students who will inspire you by their own life. Then why is that when it comes to the most important part of your existence, spirituality, you don't need any guru? Of course, the Western so-called society been totally messed up by false religion, which meant exclusively to control people. But even if you have, half brain, not full brain, half brain, with little spiritual brain, by entering any religious system, you'll find some jewels. It's not that, Jesus Christ or the great philosophers try to control people. It's the church. It's the management and politicians. So then you can understand those politicians, they dress like spiritual people. But really, why do they dress like spiritual people? Because there were some great spiritual people in every religion that inspired people. So they just fake it that they're like them. They're not. Even they code their slogans, slokas, and code their names. They're not like that because their purpose is very clear: to manipulate people and keep them in ignorance. That's why I fully agree. If you just go to any convenient religion, you learn something, but mainly you're going to waste your time. However, if that is your transitional zone, that's good. Like, many churches and temples, they'll give you some basic. So don't blame them for giving basic because, basically they're dealing with the basic knowledge and basic people. But if you want to learn something deep like yoga, spirituality, remember, you have to emerge, you have to practice. It's all about how you take it on your own inner level. So even if you meet the greatest guru of all the time, what is that greatest guru will do for you? He will give you a glimpse, and he'll give you technique, and he will be your mentor. So when I had to learn certain things in pranayama, breathing yoga, normally you go to some school, you go to yoga class, you go twice a week, thrice a week. But when I met some yogi, real yogi, I said, how do you do this? And he told me, you do this like this, and come back to me after 6 months. And I said, wow. So the next class after 6 months, because he said, it will take you about 6 months to master this skill if you do it every day. Then I thought, okay, so it's also the time and practice. So if you don't practice, if you don't accept somebody's instruction, and he will tell you, well, if you practice intensively, it will take 6 months. Because when you go to certain yogic scriptures, they will tell you, this skill can be mastered in 3 years, this skill can be mastered in 2 years, this skill can be mastered. That means like everyday practice, hours and hours. It doesn't mean like, hey, you go to yoga class once a week, or no, it's like 4 times a day. And then you realize, well, mystic yoga doesn't work because that means like I have to give up everything. And true is, you really have to give up everything for the spiritual life. And there are 2 ways of giving up everything. One way is you're just giving it up, cut it. Then, some great people, they went to monastery, they went to Himalayas, they went to teachers. But a lot of those people who tried that, they came back. They couldn't really be that determined in order to learn the spiritual skills. In other words, they would want something else besides just spiritual enlightenment. They want family life, or they want some enjoyment, and there was some activity, some business, because not everybody has that same type of nature. Remember, people have different type of nature, especially in Kali Yuga. So one time, Lord Ramachandra passed by, and he saw some Shudra doing some mystic yoga, and Lord Ramachandra cut his head. You say, why? Because if somebody is not really a pure-hearted person, and he get all these mystic powers, the nuclear bombs in his hands, he's going to create a lot of trouble. So Lord Ramachandra chopped his head off to stop that Shudra. And when we say Shudra, it doesn't mean just like Shudra as like working class. It means like low-class person. Remember, demons, they try to get mystic knowledge, but what is their aim? To control, to consume. And demons are great in mystic yoga. Like if you really go to Ramayana, Ravana, he was Rakshasa and son of a Brahmana. He had two. He had Rakshasa, demon DNA, and he had Brahmana DNA, which means like Brahma Rakshas. Brahma Rakshas means very powerful evil, because he's not just Rakshas, he's got some spiritual conscious and knowledge. So until today in India, you can find some books of Ravana. And interestingly, I don't know, anybody has a phone? Yeah. It's just Ravana, he wrote one of the best music, which is famous until today. He brought one of the best prayers to Shiva, which is famous up today. He wrote one of the best medical books, which is famous up today, like special one of his book, Kumari Samhita, How to Cure Children. Because Ravana was such an advanced person that his wife said, well, you know, children's very difficult to identify their disease. And Ravana said, okay, I'll write the book. So how brilliant was Ravana? But still, in spite of like knowledge in music, art, warfare, magic, black magic, dark magic, medicine, mathematics, architectures, like he knew everything. What was his desire? I want to enjoy Sita. And when he brought Sita to his palace, he showed like so many different women that he collected from the world. He had the most beautiful women. He's, you know, they're ready to serve him at any moment. And he said, look at these women. They all dress like queens. But you know what? You'll be the only one. If you're willing to be with me and willing to give up Ramachandra, I'm willing to accept you as one ultimate woman. Not only I will accept you as one ultimate woman, you'll be the queen of Lanka. I'll be your slave. That's how much Ravana's mind was seduced by charm of Sita. And you would say, well, maybe he sincerely fell in love. Because if you bring this matter to a modern table, some stupid modern person say, well, 100,000 years ago, this situation feels a little different. In modern world, I think Sita should agree for the good of humanity. And you know, Ravana, he wasn't a bad man. He was actually better than most of the people today. Of this, like, if you really compare Ravana, he's like best of all politicians today. Like no one equal to him. Like, have you ever seen one politician in this world who knew everything about art, politics, mathematics, warfare, creating wonderful books for people, building incredible, you know, remember, the story is this. In previous yugas, evil lived in different planets. So Ravana, he brought Rakshasas from different worlds into the earth. And he assimilated Sri Lanka island. He said that will be our key capital. From this Lanka, we're going to conquer the whole world, and we will conquer also all higher planetary systems. So Ravana's ambition was not just to conquer the world, because like, see the reason why Vishnu came as Rama, because when Ravana did his penance, he did such a great austerity. At a certain point, he took his own head and decided he's cut off and put to Shiva as an offering. He wants to sacrifice himself. Then Shiva said, okay, stop, stop, stop. You don't need to do that. You already fast, you chant all the powerful mantras. You've done, impossible for human. What you've done is impossible. So what is that you want? And Ravana said, I want to take over the world, and I want to be invincible. He said, word invincible doesn't mean much for me. Tell me who is exactly you want to be invincible. He said, okay, I want to be invincible to all the Rakshasas. I want to be invincible to all the gods, all the Kinnaras, Gandharvas, the high planetary, all the gods, etc. The only he didn't mention is humans. Because humans so crappy, humans meant from gel, they meant from flesh. Like Ravana, he was so strong, he could kill all humans. Then Vishnu came as a human to fight him. That's a great thing. So Ravana was so great, he had so much power, but Vishnu, Vishnu is very smart. Oh, you didn't mention the human. And remember, in certain avatar, Vishnu come as a boar or a fish. Vishnu has his own amazing way to come and to make his miracle. And some people in Thailand, they know him as Narayana, they know Brahma, people know something somewhere. But really Vishnu, he's incredible. He's got all possible skills. And so when Ravana was slain on the battlefield, then Rama said to Lakshmana, his brother, you go learn from this guy, his guru. And first Lakshmana looked at his brother and said, we just fight with this guy and we defeat the guy, he's evil. But Ramachandra said, well, it does not mean that he's stupid. He's a really great enemy. He's one of the best enemy. Even me as a Vishnu, I had problems to defeat this guy. So, do you think he doesn't not know anything? Try to get wisdom from his very last moment. So Lakshmana said, okay, my brother, or I'll do. So he came to Ravana, and Ravana was dying. He had his 10 heads chopped off, and he was feeling death. So Lakshmana came by his head, stood near his head, and said, oh, my dear Ravana, I'd like to get some lesson from you. And Ravana looked at him, and didn't tell him anything. Then Lakshmana went back to Rama and said, I'm trying to approach this guy, but he's not talking to me. And Rama said, well, really, you didn't approach him properly. If you would come to Guru, would you approach like this from the head, or man, you're dying, give me something? No, you have to come with full respect, with your worship, offer prayer to his feet. Then the Guru will give you the knowledge, even if he's inimical to you. Then Lakshmana said, yes, you're right, I made a mistake. I came to Ravana like this, hey man, what can you tell me? And no communication. So he went by the feet of Lord Ravana, and he prayed to him. He said, I'm sorry, I know we caused you so much pain, but you have so much great knowledge. And I believe by leaving this world, you should share some great knowledge with you. So Ravana had very little breath, very little moment to life. And he accepted Lakshman, because you see Lakshman with respect approaching his feet like a guru. And then Ravana said, what auspicious you do immediately, what inauspicious you try to postpone. And he died. Then Gurudev used to say, Gurudev used to make jokes. He said, I'm always like to follow great demons like Ravana. What auspicious, you do it immediately. Like if you want to do something spiritual, give some donation, prayer, offer. But you also have inauspicious things, like some inauspicious desires. Oh, I might want to eat this, I might want to enjoy this. I know it's not good for me, but so you try to postpone that. And when Ravana gave that a great advice, that was not delusion, it was very proper advice for Lakshmana. And one thing we can learn is that even Lord Ramachandra, he didn't have big ego. He was very convinced that my enemy I should learn from. He wasn't, don't block him, just sit over here somewhere. He was like very much aware that even the enemy, learn from your enemies. Don't try to be egocentric, thinking like, oh, because that person is my enemy, there's nothing to learn from him. So if you can learn from your enemy, and I can tell you, another story, which is less of a shastric, but it's history. In the time of Roman and Carthaginian war, was great general Cannibal. So what they call Cannibal is cannibal as well. So Cannibal was from Baraka family. Baraka family was great Kshatriya family, and Carthage was built after Dwaraka. Remember, it was seaport with the great ships. So Dwaraka was seaport. So many nations tried to copy this idea to build beautiful seaport. And it happened that the whole trade would go to Carthage. And Romans hate it because it's just like one bay, another bay. They know if we can just destroy them, the whole ships come to us, the whole transit comes to us, and whoever has the transit of merchandise make a lot of money. So Carthage was making a lot of money, and that gave a lot of ambition to fight with Rome. But Rome was raising. Rome started doing professional army. Rome had so much power and democracy and conquered so many lands. But the Cannibal father was killed by Romans. So he swore, I will fight Romans all my life. He went to Spain, and Romans knew the mountains very difficult to overcome. And they thought, if Cannibal can go by the bay road, we'll defeat him because we have very strong foreposts, and those roads, they're not meant for big army to sneak into the Rome. So the territory was sealed. But Cannibal was a military genius, and he just realized, if I can just claim mountains, and it's not easy. He had 40 elephants, 40 fighting elephants that had been brought from Africa and trained by Indians. So Cannibal had kind of like Indian generals. He had like international team. And the Romans, they had their own army, but they never fought elephants. So Cannibal also, brought on his side Lusitanians and all other tribes of South Hispanic tribes who hate Rome. And he told them, like, look, this guy is going to slay you. If you join my army, together we have a lot of riches. So he gave them like gold and stuff, and they joined him. But coming through the mountains was very difficult for him because mountains were filled with very wild tribes, very narrow roads. And these wild tribes, they could not realize the power of Cannibal army, but they still try to attack Cannibal from the mountains and rob and kill his people and steal his supplies. They were really crazy. So Cannibal had big problems going through with his elephants to the mountains. He lost about 25% of his army just in that move, fighting with locals. But the end of his military campaign was so great, he's got behind the back of the Rome, where Rome would not expect him. And immediately he took position and he plundered the local cities because they were not so well supported with a little army. And so he's got very strong position. He started defeating Romans one battlefield after another battlefield after another battlefield until he almost come to Rome. Then the Romans were so messed up and they thought, well, how are we going to deal with this guy? And the bullshit of Roman power was like this. When there's no Rome, we're democracy. When there's big dangers, we're dictatorship. Because, yeah, when there's no problem, democracy is good, everybody bullshit, and, kind of work. But when you have big, big trouble, you need a king, a strong dictatorship, strong military lord, military leader. So they thought, who do we appoint? So the one guy, Spooky, wasn't a great guy. But this guy spoke in front of the Senate and he said, I think we need to learn from Cannibal the way he fights with us. They said, we hate the guy. He said, no, he's a great guru. Look, he defeats us every time. He defeated us 10 times. And I've studied the whole his military technique, and that's how he do it. And that's genius. If we can just apply this against him, we can defeat him. And they said, okay, you go, you take our, because they had no choice. So this guy, he defeated Cannibal. And he started defeating him battle after battle after battle. And Cannibal was very impressed, because this guy thinking exactly like I do. Because that person realized one thing: when your opponent, when your enemy is great, learn from your enemy and be as great as your enemy and try to do better. So he learned all the way. And finally, what happened is they destroyed the cartridge. Because Cannibal said, I need more army, I need more supply. And Spooky said, he's going to acquire more army and more supply. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Cartridge, and we're going to attack Cartridge because the main force of Cannibal is here. And they will not expect that. So he defeated Cartridge in a Cartridge, and that by doing that, he cut off Cannibal army from any supply, financial and other stuff. And finally, Cannibal had to take the poison because this guy was always chasing Cannibal, and finally Cannibal lost. And there's not only this, there's another great example when Pompeius fight with Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was a disciple of Pompeius the Great. Pompeius the Great was military strategy guru. When they had a crash in Rome, Julius Caesar knew, I have to fight with my guru. So they had the same army, almost the same, and they knew, like, I've learned from you, like, you're my guru. So they knew exactly what's going to happen if they crash. And as a great military strategist, they understand, if we just fight without advantage, even if we win, let's say my army 20,000 people, his army 20,000 people, if we crash on battlefields, that means most likely we're going to lose 70% of our both armies, which means nobody win. But the most important one is, after losing that, we're going to lose will and enthusiasm of our soldiers. No soldiers like to go die. Every soldiers come to battlefield with hope of win. So the general business is to provide soldier field of winning, at least feeling of winning, which means like, hey, we have advantage, we're on a hill, we're going to do this, we have a special tactic. Then soldiers say, yeah, we're gonna kick this ass. And that happens in Roman army many times, when the great small Roman army would win hundreds of thousands of barbarians, but just be using brain and fighting together. So the reason I'm telling you all these things, because my spare time, when I was younger, I've studied the history and military warfare, and what it tells that in life, adaptability of learning things, it becomes number one advantage of moving in the world. And the smart guy learning from his enemy and he's learning from his competitors. That's why competitors are so great, because they teach you. They make you move. So all these things require that even if you see somebody is in quite negative, even opposition of you, but he's your guru, you should try to learn from him and see what good he does and try to do better. And don't hesitate to copy somebody. Remember, you have to fake it unless you make it. So fake it means like, okay, these people do like this. Okay, we'll also try. And I try and I become experienced. So these are the great spiritual suggestions, which come from not only Vedas, it comes from life. which really means for us that our life is about learning, and learning from most even undesirable sources. Remember, success, as they say in army, success has no judgment. Like how you came to success, you're not going to be judged. How you win your battlefield, because winners are not being sued. But winners means learn strategy, learn the way, understand how things work, and try to apply in your best possible way. And this is general idea about principle of guru. So those people who say like, I don't really need guru, I don't need mentor, I'm so great, I'm so brave, I'm so smart. But like in America we say, oh, you're so smart, why are you so poor? Means your knowledge is need to be converted into something. Spiritual, material, whatever you're trying to convert your knowledge. If you're a knowledgeable guy in health, but you are not healthier, that means your great knowledge is not really serving yourself. If you understand about business, but you have no money, that means there's something wrong with you. Although it does not mean that somebody might be a great business teacher, he may not be the great businessman. Or somebody may be not the healthiest guy, but he can be a great health coach. But really meaning that whatever the knowledges you have, it has to become Vigyan, the experience of your own self. That's why I said, yeah, there are many people who teach yoga and they do fine. But to me, it's not yoga, it's just physical culture. It's exercise. It's not really yoga. Yeah, that's great for the sake of exercise. But, yoga has a little deeper understanding for me. Like, I don't take yoga as being physical, or I then take chanting of Hare Krishna as being musical. If somebody think, oh, we're doing kirtan, wonderful music, I say, yeah, it's music that might be wonderful, but your mantra has no power, it has no meaning. Your chanting is superficial. Yeah, you might be a great athlete, and you have very great body, and you can do all the stretches and stuff, but it doesn't seem you can fly with that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, on that gross level, you might be successful, which is fine. But you have to go to the depth of the core. What is the depth of everything? Try to find the cause of everything. That's another thing. So that's why, what's the knowledge meant for? This knowledge itself alone can make you happy. I have big doubt. Most smart people, they don't seem happy to me. Because happiness is a stage of consciousness which is not intellectual. Like you see children, they're like, They sounds like crazy, like Rupa. He sounds like a crazy on the roof of Puri. But I can understand he's very happy today. Too much happy. So then happy is not intellectual. And most people, what do they expect from happiness? Some people think, oh, it's just sustainability, just to be able to pay my own bills, it's happiness. That's not. It's very bad when you cannot pay your bills, it's worse. But even when you can pay your bills, you can say, well, at least happy I can do that, but it's not really ultimate happiness. Or some people think, well, I have great relationship. Yeah, that's wonderful. You can have beautiful husband or wife or girlfriend and love someone. And that's wonderful, but that's not really make people internal happiness. So what is happiness is something that you have to experience within yourself, not a pleasure, not a mental stage of mind, not conditions your life in. It's something that you never experience until you go to the level of pure consciousness. And to go to the level of pure consciousness, you have to understand it's endless. And when we say bhakti yoga, remember, Krishna is source of happiness. He's the ultimate happiness. If you in any inch will connect with him, you will experience that great feeling. But why Krishna give you these conditions? Why you're so free in this world? Remember, because it's your own choice. Like we say, this world is screwed up, but we say that's your choice. Every one of us chosen to be part of that screwed up world. Not only be part of that screwed up world, but practically agree, yeah, screwed up world, what can we do? We're going to live with that. So if somebody deeply understands this world, he's not trying to be part of that world, actually. He's trying to be part of outside of that world. It doesn't mean that you reject this world. You have to deal with that world. But your understanding would be, no, I'm not part of this material environment. That's why I never consider myself part of any political group. Because I know even in the best ideal society, people still need to be Krishna conscious and self-realize. And we can understand so-called ideal society, normally it neglects spirituality. In previous ages, yes, like, there were spiritual cultures. But in modern society, as more society advances, it's materialistic. Like if you go to Sweden or Finland, religious people considered to be those who have problems. Like, in Sweden they tell you, oh yeah, this person's going to church because he has mental problems or life problems. Normal people don't need to God. Like, if I'm doing my professional job, if I'm making money, I have my family, why do I need God? But if somebody lost his job and lost his relationship, suffering, he might need God for sake of peace. So in the Western world, spirituality, it's not something that you need it. You can easily live your life without spirituality. You can drive car, you can fill your gasoline, you can get a good money, you can go on vacation, you have a nice glass of craft beer, no zdоровья. For the sake, you can go to Thailand, walk in the street of Pattaya, you can see all these beautiful girls and eat exotic fruits, and you can come back to your work, professional work, and you have I go once a year for my little snow country to enjoy myself on the beach of Thailand. That's like it's like going to paradise. But I'm doing my own thing. So as we can understand, most people, they don't feel necessity of spirituality, but there are other extremes where you go to Christian school and you go to religious families, and these people always pray. They pray for food, they pray every moment. They think oh, if I don't pray, there's fear of God. Or you got a bunch of Muslim guys who have little carpet, and but you think, where's happiness? Where's love? You won't find happiness and love outside of religion. Inside of religion, you also will not find. So there's only alternative way is Krishna consciousness, because it's meant for you to discover the spiritual bliss that's within you. And not only bliss that's within you, that can be done by yoga, the bliss of relationship with Krishna. Remember, you can play football with Krishna, you can talk to Krishna, you can live in the same world of Krishna. But you say why Krishna? Why I need to Krishna? What about Shiva or Brahma or what about Vishnu? Everybody tells that Vishnu and Krishna are the same. So what's wrong with Vishnu? What's wrong with Shiva? Especially in India. We love Shiva, we love Vishnu. Why do we have to become devotee of Krishna? But Gurudev always would joke and say, can you play football with Shiva? No, you cannot. Can you? But with Krishna, why all Indian women, they love Krishna? Because baby Krishna, baby Krishna stealing the sweets, Krishna's dancing, Krishna is a child playing with animals and people. So you can understand, Krishna as God has the most fun not being God. For God to be God, there's no fun. It's like when king going to his palace and work as a king with a crown and receiving the ambassadors, that's his job, being king, that's his position. When he's coming back to his palace, where his wife, his child tell, oh, Papa, I was waiting for you, let me play horse today. So king become a horse for his child, and he's as a horse claiming, and he's playing with his, and his wife tell, no, you have to do this. He said hey, I'm running the whole kingdom, but I cannot go against my wife's will. Or I'm a king, but when I see my child, my heart melt, I'm just becoming hoarse for him. That's why Krishna comes as a child, as a lover, and Krishna has established personal relationship with every living entity, which is very important. That remember, we're all parts and particles of God, but God has its own relationship potential with us. And that's something that most people in religion don't understand, and most people in yoga don't understand. They think I just have to hum to some kind of a samadhi bliss, some kind of stage in mind when I don't even exist. That's fine, that's like going to sleep. Like if you think, oh, sleep is ultimate happiness, then don't wake up. Really, like when you sleep, you're like, you're there and you're not there, right? So sometimes you say, I need to sleep, I'm so tired of this bullshit, of this world, I need to sleep. Yes, but that's only to withdraw yourself from negative side. But if on positive side, I tell you, what did you do all weekend? Oh, I just slept. Why? Oh, I'm so tired of my work, or I don't have any mood to go out. So sleeping is appeared to be medicine from negative. But from awakened stage where you feel hunger, when you want to do something wonderful, when you have a great time with your friends, you know, like if you tell people, okay guys, I'm going to sleep, you know, what kind of life is this? You're going to sleep. So right now we're in the sleeping stage. Our soul is existing intrinsic spiritual level. Right now our soul is sleeping. Our soul seeing dream. Oh, my name is David, or my name is Rupa, or my name is Devendra. I'm, you know, doing some kind of video production, or I'm doing some kind of a business. This is dream. That's not reality. It's not that dream is not real, but we exist in dream-like stage. And in that dream we can, in a dream I saw myself as a big fat Swami dancing with elephants. I saw this and that, but yeah, that, because there's different conditions of dream. There's like scary, ugly dreams. There's like boring dreams. Like every day I wake up, go to work 8 hours, and finally I'm hoping one day I will retire, and I see them stir into like moon or lake. Like when you go to Finland, it's like beautiful nature, and some people just build little house by the nature, and they just go to the nature and they stir nature. Because that's what it is. But that's not what rasa, like festival, dance, self-expression, connection. That's why, you know, like in America or any other country, people like to go to Burning Man festival, Shambhala, take drugs, fly, dance, feel amazing, meet friends, have wonderful experience, and that's what they live for. Remember, a lot of people live in America, work their ass off to save money for like Burning Man or a festival or their travel, because that's where they feel free. Like at Burning Man, there's no money. You know, you cannot buy things in Burning Man. Burning Man is giving culture. You go to this festival, you have to give to it. Some people give gifts, some people give drugs, some people give alcohol. So it's like you go to Burning Man, you don't buy drugs there. They give you everything. Oh, Swami, we have some amazing drugs, please take it. All right, I'll take one. I give it to some friend of mine. Okay, Swami, would you like some drink? What do you have? Any drink, any alcohol? No, give me orange juice. Okay, here's orange juice. Because why? And I discovered that at that very Burning Man festival, people feel great joy to give and serve. And they spend so much money to build camp, they experience the art and music, and they just know, if I can just enjoy how other people enjoy, and all these billionaires, millionaires, you know, they dress like unknown in their glasses, and everybody dance, you know, on acid and drugs, and every girl look like sexy goddess, every man feel like, hey, this is freedom and desert. But this festival finished like 10 days, and then you gone back, you in your depressed office, working, selling, hello, how can I help you? Yeah, yeah, it's a really great product we're selling. I give you a discount. Oh, you're from Burning Man. Come. Why? Because you want to be part of divine family. You want to be part of a world where everything free. That's why if you burner and they see your dust, they say, oh, you burner, oh, we'll help you. Like everywhere in the world, if you find a guy from Burning Man, because you're part of the beautiful community that once in a year for 10 days goes crazy, dance and enjoy themselves, and the rest of it just work their asses off. And even that perspective is wonderful. That's why when I went to burn, I thought, okay, I like it. I like it because this is the most amazing moment where people open their heart. But the problem is, like, as a Hare Krishna guys, we're never good enough organized. See, because the material people, what they do, they save money, they get ready, they strategize. But as a Hare Krishna, we're like, Burning Man, no problem. If Krishna's will. Which means we're not so serious to go to the place of joy. Or like Shambhala. I said, I like to go there, I like to sleep there, I like to be there, but not everybody decide to do that. Oh, why do I have to go? Well, really, if we would have had our camp there, we do like a lot more. But people decide, okay, I go to Shambhala for a couple hours. The festival world doesn't work because I'm from festival. So when I went to Bali, there was some kind of a, I don't know, it's not a Burning Man, but they all say, oh, it's like a Burning Man. All right, on Bali there was like kind of festival with music, art. I just said, I'm going there, I'm staying there. I'm staying in a tent, I'm sleeping in a tent with mosquitoes, I cover myself with my, why? Because I know if you really want to go enter to the festival, you have to be there. That's the thing. Serve, talk to people, help people, that's what it is. It's all about this, it's not just about visiting in your white shoes. So when I was young, we built those first music art festivals in Russia. And I know we would build them like for 1 month, prepare all summer, and then people come and enjoy. And interestingly, a lot of them hate Hare Krishna. All the way the people were organizing the festival, but the people said, well, these Hare Krishna guys, there's not enough drugs here, not enough alcohol here. They don't really go for it, you know. We brought our own alcohol and drugs. Come to our test. Then, because I understand, even if you do spiritual festival, everybody who come to a festival, he pretty much has his own idea what the happiness is. So I said, yeah, you know, it's just if we keep doing this music festival, you know, these guys, so let's do yoga festival. Okay, yoga festivals, I understand, it's like less drugs, more like health, etc. So we've done it. But the principle is this: if you want to be part of something great, learn something, be that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have your full life. If you want to become devotee, try to have full life of devotee. At some time, maybe you're not going to make it. Like, I would say, I probably would not be able to have like Bhakti Lalita, like all my life, temple life. Just like wake up in the morning, go to Mangal Arati, chant, go eat, read the book, go to temple. Yeah, maybe when I become old and I like 2 months from dying.
No, never.
But even that's not like great perspective. So I thought, do I really want to die? No, I was just want. So my life is like more like go towards ideal. You know, like I don't think I can be like a yogi. You know, like every day doing sadhana. Check my like, you know, am I become Vishno or not yet? Or I wake up every day. Yeah, I like to see Krishna. I like the songs. But I think like if I do this every day, it's just, I don't think I'm meant for that. I think I'm meant for something not greater, something different. So my idea to find out what is I meant for. I definitely not meant for family life because I know it's suck and it's boring and it's terrible on the end. I never meant for like business life because I know if you just have business and money and you fully observe in business, that will just, take you down. It sounds very, it's almost like want to go to bathroom but cannot go to bathroom. It's that feeling. But I know you cannot live without money. You have to be self-sustainable. So, do I like Thailand? I think it's an amazing place. But do I want to live all my life in Thailand? Definitely not. It's just too good for me. I realize most Russians, Ukrainians do better when they go back to Russia. Because it's horrible environment, make them more spiritual. When they come to Thailand, they think like, it's too nice. When they go back to Ukraine, war, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So my understanding is like, or like Indians, not all Indians do very well outside of India. Why? Just because of the environment. Sometimes when you're born, even it's harsh, but it make you more humble, make you more spiritual. So, but again, some people like in our team, they can live in Thailand. I think that's good for them. I don't think it's good for them to come back to Russia. Maybe, for a little short while. We had one lady, she went to Russia. What's your experience like of Russia? Did you like it?
Partially like, partially not like.
Right. So that means.
Depends on what we're talking about.
Well, I'm just trying to say that you'll find imperfections everywhere. But the idea is this, like, what is that you like? So here's what my answer to I want to do something great for Krishna from what I can. I like to offer something great and not less than what I can offer. Because if I can offer $100, why do I have to offer 100 rupees? I need to realize what I can do for Krishna. Then somebody say, well, it's very arrogant. Why Krishna need you? Krishna is God. He doesn't really care. That's true. But remember, Krishna acts through his devotees. And Krishna using his devotees to promote devotion. Krishna himself not giving devotion. Devotion is property of devotees. Only devotee can give devotion. And that's why it's very obvious that if you go approach Krishna directly, you'll get nothing. Because Krishna is not stupid. He say, Yemi Bhakta Jana Parha. Krishna say, those who approach me, I know, they're cheaters. Everybody wants to be close to God. But I'm only see those who are approaching my devotees. And they have devotion towards my devotees, and they have selfless service. Then I give them the blessing for devotion through my devotees. That's why Govardhan, Yamuna, Tulasi, very important for us to worship because they're great devotees of Krishna. And Guru, pure Vaishnavas, they're very rare. But they're capable of giving devotion. So when we have to understand what our life is meant for, then it's very simple. If we can meet great devotees, or those who serve great devotees, and participate at as much as we can, we have tremendous benefit. Like, Sankarshan Prabhu told me about beautiful Thai lady. We met at her Shambhala festival, and she has so many life problems, but she also feel, maybe I can, try to live in ashram, see what it's like. Actually, our ashram is not so perfect, but I can tell you, even in our imperfect ashram, if you spend some time and try to get understanding of Krishna consciousness, you have tremendous success in your spiritual life. And, when I look at all these wonderful Thai people, I know they previously worshipped Narayan, Shiva, Vishnu. They're Vaishnavas, actually. And they're very polite, very sweet. But through times of Kali Yuga, they've been giving, even Buddhism Buddha is Vishnu. Actually, if you go to India, and every Indian tell you, Buddha is Vishnu. You understand? Buddha is God. And if you sincerely bow down to Buddha, it's like you bow down to Vishnu. But here's an interesting thing. Buddha is a Vishnu who's not giving devotion. Buddha is not giving devotion. He's giving enlightenment, sattva, samadhi. nirvana, but he's not giving bhakti. So, but if you are smart, do you know what you ask Buddha? Do you know what really you should pray to Buddha? I can explain. It's very simple. Anybody knows what to ask in your prayers? Remember, Buddha as Vishnu can purify you and give you buddhi. Buddha means Buddha, means great wisdom, great mind. So you tell the Buddha, you please give me object of your meditation, what you meditate on. Because everybody meditate on Buddha, but what Buddha meditate on? Understand? So everybody think, oh, I get something from Buddha, but you ask Buddha, what is the most valuable? What is that you want? And I can tell you what Buddha will tell you. Buddha will tell you, there's nothing better than devotion. I always meditate on devotion. There's nothing higher than devotee. That's why Buddha came as a sannyasi. You know, he came as actually a spiritual seeker. And he came to destroy superficial religion. Remember, Buddha had special purpose, to destroy superficial religion. But after that, his religion becomes superficial, because that's what happens. People, just like Jesus, you know, Jesus came for love and compassion, and then Christianity came as a slavery, unfortunately. It's like the biggest religion of slavery. And remember how many people they burn and they crucify just in the name of like, you're not really a good guy. Didn't Jesus die for my sin? Yeah, but you know, like it's Jesus. We'll decide to burn you, my friend. It's so funny that things like communism, which like in communism you're supposed to share with everybody, right? But no communist guys share their power with anybody. They always eat much better, and they always like look at the North Korean leader. He's like a fat ass, and he's got all this skinny, zombie-like looking followers. Like I didn't find anyone as fat as him. He's the fattest Korean. He's supposed to be the communism, right? He's supposed, like, you understand? So it's all bullshit in names of communism. It's all bullshit in names of religion, and you can understand it. And the point is, you live in a train of bullshit. You become part of bullshit. But the worst is this: you bullshit yourself, like you're in self-delusion. So that's why one of the important things is spiritual life is stop deluding yourself. And that's not a very pleasant thing, because you understand, like, all my life I just cheat myself, and I still cheat myself. But intuitively I feel that Krishna can help me to avoid this. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to get the truth. So I'm just praying to the mercy of Krishna and devotees. So don't think like when you become enlightened, that's immediately you'll feel divine love. No, enlightenment means to understand your own position. How poor, how poor you are. Like in the world of immortality, you're wasting your life. In the world of immortality, you're just trying to become self-sustainable. Like, oh, if I just make money. Okay, so everybody's make money in this world, one way or another way. And all people die, rich and poor. Everybody dies. Smart people also die. You know, stupid people may be easy to die. So all these things you have to reconsider and re-understand, and think like, what's my hope? And yeah, I can tell you what's my hope. Like association of great devotees, trying to do something great, take service as part of your life, and try to see how far you're going to make it. See, like now I'm realizing, yeah, I took sannyas when I was 33 years old. I was not very smart. But then I thought, but if I would not take sannyas, I probably would not be alive. And then I say, by taking sannyas and going towards spiritual goal, I have the best things in my life. Like, where are all these people coming from? They didn't come from my professional LinkedIn. They didn't, like Rupert didn't came. You didn't meet me in business club, did you? Huh? Like Sankarshan, you didn't meet me dancing on the beach, right? Like We all met by Krishna's will, by devotion. And look at these guys, like they're doing this streaming. Why? Because they believe in that. So it's amazing that we live in a world of belief and spiritual team, spiritual community, and supporting each other. And of course, we're trying to expand this. That's why we're broadcasting this. You know, it's not just, I can sit and talk to myself with my beats and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, be happy. But you know, that's not what our life is about. Our life is to give your heart, to share your heart with others. And by sharing your heart with others, you get grace. That's why what Sankarsana said, yeah, if we just can preach to, you know, Govinda Maharaj had some Thai disciples. They were primarily American educated people, but they were Thai, they were very pious. I don't know where they are, maybe they died already. But even here in Thailand, I think, if we have more Krishna conscious Thai people, it would be great for them. Like our devotees going to Bali, and Bali is Hindu country, but there are some Hindus who are Krishna conscious. And I met them and I said, hey, you try to meet with our guys and chant kirtan together. So remember, it's very, very wonderful way of conducting your life is build your life around devotees and devotion. And you know, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, if you're not going to make it this life, don't worry. You didn't lose much, you only gain. Because Krishna talking to Arjuna, and Arjuna said, what if I don't become a saint? Yeah, if you do business, you fail, that's bad, but at least you try. But on devotion, you haven't lost anything. Whatever you've done on the path of devotion will actually remain with you forever, next life. So if you've done business, the money will not remain with you next life, but devotion will remain to you next life. So this is very valuable, what we're trying to do. It's not something for today or for tomorrow. It's long-term investment into your soul. And that's why we want to finish tonight this lecture. Tomorrow I'm going to US. Thank you. Provocative question.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
You mentioned that Krishna, like we consider him like a supreme God because of the rasa, because his pastimes is like ordinary human life. Like you can be a baby, a child, friend, lover, etc. But why in this case you so devalue the ordinary family human life? You say that it is boring.
Because it's Prakriti rasa. I'm not devaluing that. I'm just saying it's not spiritual.
Why it's not spiritual?
Well, because everything in this world is a copy. Like your body is a copy of spiritual body. Your world is a copy of spiritual world. Everything you do is like, it's a shadow of reality.
So the highest position for God should be sannyasi God in your...
No. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. In whatever superstances you have, like Srivas Thakur, he's Narada. In Gaur Lila, he's like a married man. But he doesn't do any work. So Mahaprabhu asked Srivas Thakur, how is that you're a family man, but you are not earning money? Like you should be earning money, have savings. And Srivas Thakur said, in my philosophy, everything, food and everything coming to me by divine will. But Mahaprabhu said, what if divine will stop supply you? Then Srivas Thakur said, okay, I will fast 3 days. And if after 3 days I don't get food, I'll just jump into Ganga. And Mahaprabhu said, no, Srivas, if Lakshmi need to come from Vaikuntha and become your servant, she will do that. Means like, I always keep your flow. Like, you won't believe like how many times in my life when I concentrate on my spiritual thing, it's just like Krishna saved my life. Money came from like, I don't know, like in my life, I can tell you one thing. all my life, my success was like miracle. You know, like I felt a lot of miracles in my life. And I understood these things came to me by wills of Krishna. And I also understand, like, I've lost money and I've lost some business and some things. And I also realize it's by wills of Krishna. So, Hare Krishna Rakike, Rami Krishna Marike. If Krishna kill you, nobody will save you. If Krishna save you, nobody will kill you. That was the story of Kamsa. Kamsa were told he was going to be killed by Krishna. But he tried his best to manage that this is not going to happen. The end of the story, Krishna killed Kamsa. So, I know you have many questions about life from your own perspective. And that's okay, because you always review things from your own perspective. But remember, whatever is a relationship between you and Krishna is your personal. It has nothing to do with external things. Yes, you relate to Krishna by devotees, but Krishna has personal relationship with everyone. Although he preferred to deal with through devotion, but Krishna also has personal relationship. And Krishna wants you to love him. You can love your husband, your child, your country. You can love so many things, but why not love Krishna? Appreciate Krishna.
Is the love for Krishna is
like gopis. Yeah, like gopis in Vrindavan. They marry with other men, but they love Krishna. So they marry women. They come home, they serve their family, they serve their children. But when they want to have Krishna as a child, Brahma stolen the cows and Krishna expand himself to every child and every cup. Why? Because Krishna knew all these wonderful women of Vrindavan want to have me as a child. So let the Brahma steal the cups and childs, and I will copy their child, and I will copy the cup, so that the people of Vrindavan dealing with me don't recognize me as a Krishna, but they think, why is that I love my son more and more and more? Because Krishna took form of his son. Think of this. Isn't that wonderful?
But love for devotee is higher than love for Krishna. And these sons of these mothers was the devotee, isn't?
They were devotees, their husbands were devotees, but remember, Krishna arranged himself, I'm just trying, it's very important, the cups and the boys. Krishna himself take divine form of both of them, because the Gopas who live in Vrindavan, they're dealing with cows. They love cows. But think of this, it's not the real cow, it's Krishna. How much they love that cow. And Krishna allowed them to have that feeling towards that cow without knowing that's Krishna. Remember, Krishna is the biggest tricker. He can take different forms. In Vrindavan, that's what he does. So if you follow the idea of the Bhagavad, then you can understand Krishna consciousness. You just have to go deeper. I know we have mental blockages to go deeper, but it has nothing to do with external. It's all internal understanding of nature, of sweet nature of Krishna. When you deal with Krishna, you don't condition Krishna by your own circumstance. Krishna is omnipotent. He can do everything. He knows everything. He's good of everybody. And Krishna, he has mysterious ways. How mysterious, we can talk another day, but one thing we should accept is his land, his devotees, his holy name, his divine pastimes, all beneficial for us. We cannot connect with him directly, but hearing pastimes of Krishna and Mahaprabhu will give us great benefit. Do we have mridanga? Okay, you can play mridanga. Hari Horaya Nama Krishna Yadovaya Namaha. Yaduvaya Madhuvaya Keshvaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudano. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudano. Giridhari Gopinata Modana Mohana. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Jarupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunatha. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. Hey Jai Goshani Kori Charana Vandana. Jahoiti Birgana Shobishto Purana. Hey Jai Goshani Jana Munitana Dasa. Sabara Padarenu More Panchograsa. Chandra Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivasa. Janmane Janmana Muru Eya Pilaso. Ananda Bolo Hari Braja Vrindavan. Ananda Bolo Hari Braja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Majariyaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kuriyasho. Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottama Daso. Haribu, 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 Haribu. Jai Gora Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.